It's time to get started on the neck for the acoustic guitar build. Stick around. What is going on? Welcome to this episode of Home Built Workshop. I hope your day is fantastic so far. It's neck day around here for the acoustic guitar build. I have this cool Padauk and maple neck blank that my buddy Thomas sent me. Now originally when he sent it to me, these maple strips were just a little bit wider. It would have worked fine. I could have made a perfectly acceptable neck out of it. However, the dimensions that I chose caused these maple strips to show on the sides. Once I carve all that material away, you would see the maple up at the end, and then it would slightly transition into the Padauk, and I thought that might just look a little bit weird. That's by no fault of Thomas sending me this blank. It's just the dimensions that I chose didn't quite work. So what I ended up doing is slicing this apart on the bandsaw, thinning down these maple strips, and then gluing everything back together. As a result of that, I did lose a little bit of width up here at the headstock, so I glued on a couple of Padauk wings to make up those differences. Now we're ready to start working. I've already done some of the layout on here, but I'll show you what I've got going on. I have up here a 6mm width nut marked out. I've got a center line on the headstock as well as the fretboard area. Down here I have the position marked out of the 14th fret as well as a line 19mm from that, which represents where the tenon's going to be. So this material here is all excess. I need to cut this off, which is going to give me the final length of the neck plus the tenon. Then we can route the truss rod slot as well as the slots for the carbon fiber rods. I think I can make this cut on the table saw by running it face down on my sled. I'm not 100% sure if the blade's going to reach high enough, but if not, we'll just use a handsaw and finish that cut there. Now my neck blank's at the final length. We'll just lay the truss rod on the center line. I'm going to line up the nut at the end even with the end of the neck. Then I'll mark the length of the truss rod on the neck blank. There's several different ways you could cut the truss rod slot. You could use a table saw or a router table. Both of those methods require you to run the neck in this manner, upside down, across the bit or across the blade. But I've done a ton of truss rods for electric guitar necks just using this simple jig and some double-sided tape. I don't see why we can't do that again here. It's just a truss rod channel, and then we're going to route a couple of 1/8" slots for some carbon fiber rods. To cut my truss rod channels, I just use a 1/4" down shear straight cutting bit. It works really good. I've done a lot of truss rod slots this way, and this jig is super simple to use as well. Cool. Perfect. Now I'll just shift my jig over to one side of the truss rod slot, and using an 1/8" straight cutting bit, cut the channels for the carbon fiber rods. I'm not going to shove these rods down in there just yet because they're going to be hard to get back out. I'm going to wait until we're ready to glue the fretboard on later on down the line, but right now I'm going to work on this head plate. The head plate, as far as I understand it, is just another decorative element that gets glued onto the front of the headstock. It's again another opportunity to use species of wood that you've used throughout the build. For me, you guessed it, more spalted maple. We just need to glue this guy right onto here. I'm trying to use some of the grain lines on here. There's one in particular that almost looks like a pencil line, and I'm going to use that as my center line when I glue this in place. I'm going to match it to the center line on my headstock. There we go. With the glue on the head plate dried, now it's time to trim off the edge of the head plate flush with where the edge of the nut's going to be. We want to try to get this at 90 degrees. I've seen this done a couple of different ways, but I'm going to use it as the backstop for my nut. This has the chance to be a little bit tricky. I've seen people do this by eye. I'm not comfortable doing that, so we're going to use a handy little jig. I've got this little contraption here, which is modeled after the one Eric Schaefer uses in his building course. Really, it's just very simple, just some plywood glued together, little fence at 90 degrees, which registers against the side of the neck. And then there's a little notched away area here, which lets this slide over the overhanging piece, and we can use a handsaw and trim this off flush. We just need to line up the edge of the jig and make the cut right at the transition point where the headstock leans back. Here I'm using a thin steel ruler to kind of mock up the location of the saw blade. This way I can make sure that my alignment is spot on before I touch it with an actual saw. When you're doing this step, don't forget to do the one eye squint so you can see better. I use a chisel to carefully pop the offcut loose. There is a little bit of squeeze out in there that I'll also clean up with a chisel. With the head plate trimmed, now I can do a little bit of layout and we can begin working on actually cutting the headstock shape. I'll begin by transferring the plane of the headstock to the back of the neck. This is going to give me a reference as to where the end of the headstock is going to be and a layout line that I can align my routing template to. Then I'll lay out the approximate position of the fretboard about as close as I can get it, just to give me some lines so I know where not to cut. Now I'll flip the neck over and I'm going to carry my center line onto the back side of the neck. This way I'll be able to align my template on the back. I've got my MDF headstock template ready to go. This was just copied from a 3D printed template that I designed in Fusion, printed it out, and made an MDF copy. It is really helpful to be able to 3D print some templates to test the fit and dimensions. I've used a ton of 3D printed pieces so far in this project. There's bound to be at least a few more. Now I suppose in reality I probably could just use these as my routing template, but for some reason I like to transfer it to MDF and work off of that. I don't know, call me weird. Now I'll stick my headstock template onto the back. What I want to be careful of is that I don't accidentally flip the direction here, so I'm going to keep it in the exact same orientation from front to back. And you'll notice that I have a little cutout here on the template itself. That's to account for this space where the headstock transition is. I'm going to line it up on my center line, but also on the line that represents the back edge of the headstock. And I also just realized that I also want to carry the width of my fretboard on here at least up to the front. That way I can trim away some of this material to make it easier when we route. I've exaggerated these lines just a little bit. Really, I just want to make sure that when I trim away this material, I can cut some of this out of the way to give the router bit some room, but I don't want to cut so far in that I somehow cut into where the fretboard's going to be. Now we're going to take this over to the drill press and we're going to drill the tuner holes. To drill these pilot holes, I'm using a 5/64 drill bit. I found that to be a really good size so that I could use some wooden toothpicks as pins and pin this template in place. You could use some screws or just rely on the double-sided tape. I've done a lot of template routing with just the double-sided tape, but I'm trying to be extra cautious this time around, and I found that just wooden toothpicks seems to work really good. I just place one in the hole after I drill it, and that helps hold everything in place as I go. Of course, if you're going to use toothpicks like this, I would recommend drilling a test hole and making sure that that size drill bit fits your toothpicks nice and snug. There we go. All pinned in place, ready to trim away the excess at the bandsaw. My method of trimming off the excess material involves leaving the template attached. The downside of this is that if you nick your template with your blade, you could possibly damage it. Just keep this in mind if you choose to trim it the same way. And now onto the router table, I'll use a template bit and very, very carefully nibble away the material until we're flush with my template. Alrighty, let's check it out. Look at that. That came out really nice. I went really slow, you could probably tell, trying to take the smallest bites that I can to risk any sort of kickback or tear out or anything like that. Really, that came out really good. I got just a little bit of burning on the end. Not as bad as what I sort of expected, but that'll sand right out. I'm gonna save my little toothpick dowels here because we're gonna need those later on. If you're wondering what this little oval's for, well, you're gonna have to stick around for the next episode where we put this little oval to work. You can see what's gonna happen with that. And the toothpicks. For now, we're gonna stop right here. We've got a pretty good start on this neck. I'm feeling pretty good. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.